Oh,
Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, Joel made us watch Casino Royale, but not the good one. The one from 1967, because he wants to make us watch all the Bond films
because because he hates us.
I do.
because he's such a big fan of them. Wait, Casino Royale, sorry, is number 4078 on the Franken list. Okay. I am Frank Gaffney. With us, Jimmy Bond on the younger version.
Yeah.
Shut up.
How old is James Bond then?
Yeah, really. Grandpa Bond.
Bob on.
Uh, James Bond 007, Joel, you wish.
Yeah. Everybody in the
Yeah.
movie was James Bond 007, so
Not at this point.
no, never.
Mark Wotetz, wait a minute, you have the wrong movie.
Pond. John Pond. That's what I thought he shouldn't. I have a question once we get going on how they can use the name James Bond in an unofficial James Bond movie. It sounds like it's illegal, but we'll
No,
get into
it wasn't. They definitely had rights to the book,
Yeah.
right, Joel?
Yep.
uh,
We discussed this. Obviously, you never pay attention because we discussed it last week.
sorry, what'd you say, Joe? What's Frank?
Jimmy,
What's your name?
What's your name?
Dr. Noah.
Poodles McGee. That hair is definitely Poodles McGee today.
This is
Cute.
all natural.
All natural. Don't make a face. It's your hair. Live with it. Well, you do. And Miss Goodthighs, Annie King, Miss Goodthighs, in the kitchen where she belongs. World traveler that she is. Okay, Joel. Now, why Casino Royale? That's my question. But
But
when you subject us to this, when it's not even canon, this is a thing that you've been so, oh, this is not canon. It's not
yes,
part of it. Oh,
correct.
and yet you made us watch it.
I did. Because I think in order to understand the zeitgeist that was going on at the time, I knew you'd like that word. Um, we're in the middle of a spy craze.
Right.
The Bond films have taken off. We've had 4 of them that have just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the 60s.
And Get Smart.
Get Smart, Our Man Flint.
Oh, yeah. James Coburn.
The Matt Helm series, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
Steve Martin, yeah.
You've got all these big spy things, both on TV and in the big screen. And I think this is.
And so they decided to pile on.
Yes.
And make this into a comedy.
Because, they couldn't do anything else with it at that point. Or they tried to, but this is what the direction.
But they couldn't afford to make a real Bond movie.
They tried. They tried a number of ways. They went to Broccoli and Saltzman and said, "Hey, you just made Thunderball with Kevin McClory, who owned the rights to that. How about we do Casino Royale together?" And they just couldn't come to an agreement, partially because I think Broccoli and Saltzman didn't want to deal with a third producer again, like they did on Thunderball so soon. Yeah. And then, on top of that, they literally went to Sean Connery and said, "What can we pay you to do our movie?"
Right.
And I think he asked for like $1 million, and they was like, "That's ridiculous." And then later on, after this movie was made, somebody involved in it said they should have just paid Sean Connery.
Yeah. Were they going to make it a spoof? They weren't going to make it silly with Sean Connery.
When they were trying to do it with Broccoli and Saltzman and trying to get Connery, it was going to be a straight adaptation. In fact, a lot of the screenplays that were written for Charles Feldman, the producer, were written as straight adaptations of the novel. So, but
I always Saltzman my Broccoli.
Okay,
here's the plot. This wacky send-up of James Bond film stars David Niven as the iconic debonair spy, now retired and living a peaceful existence. Bond is called back into duty when the mysterious organization SMERSH begins assassinating British secret agents. Well, not just British secret agents, right? Is it?
Secret agents. Again,
anyway, Joel, is that really the? Well, certainly from this paragraph, it sounds interesting, but it's really not. Okay. So this is the plot in the book of Casino Royale?
No, the plot. No, because you're reading. You keep pulling things off the internet instead of making up your own. So the plot of the book is basically.
Why would I make up my own?
I don't know. Bond is sent to basically bankrupt a villain who is funding SMERSH, which is a Russian It was a legitimate Russian organization that exists, and they were about killing off spies from the other countries.
Is it like Smirch, like it stands for something?
Yeah, in Russian,
SHRSH?
in
It's got to
Russian.
be a try to be a spoof of Spectre, and
No. It was a legitimate
Really,
Russian
Smirch?
operation called it was short for like Schmerz Spionem or something, which is like death to spies. My Russian is
Oh,
horrible.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Russian.
And it will show up again in an actual Bond film later on. Um,
Okay, Joel,
anyway,
could you answer my question?
I'm
It's
trying
going
to.
to be a very long
What
video,
was your
I think.
question? The plot. I gave you
What is is this the plot of the book?
that is not the plot of the book. I explained the plot of the book
Okay.
that Bond is sent after Lishif to bankrupt him so that
Right.
Smersh will turn on him. And that's
And is that the plot of the Daniel Craig movie?
yes. But it is
Okay.
also the plot of this movie. It shows up for a little bit with Orson Welles. So
Yeah. And they were like, Orson Welles likes to do magic. Let's put some magic in.
pretty much that's
Okay.
exactly what happened.
Here's my review. This Casino Royale mistakes chaos for comedy. Instead of clever send-ups of spy tropes, we get random sight gags, endless everyone is James Bond now jokes, like Joel, and scenes that feel like they were written at separate parties and stitched together the morning after.
Which they were.
It's crazy. And what is crazy, really, even more crazy, is that the official canon James Bond movies actually parody themselves once Roger Moore gets on board. They do. Okay. And Austin Powers is the satire that Casino Royale wished it had been. That movie is focused, silly, and actually aware of what made James Bond movies tick.
Which I've never
should've-
seen.
Oh my God.
you've never seen any of the Austin Powerses?
No.
Oh my God, you have to at least watch
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the DVD box set. I will send it your way.
Okay.
it. It's really a lot of fun. And there's Mr. Bigglesworth.
This Casino Royale is bloated, misfiring spoof that proves that parody is much harder than it looks. Just ask SNL. Okay. So observations while watching. Okay, right off the bat, the titles were annoying because the capital letters in no way went with the rest of the people's names. So it's like Woody Allen. Oh, that's a W. Okay, Woody Allen. I get it. And so maybe it was Woody Allen, so he's British. Woody. I'm Woody Allen. 6 directors? What?
No, just
How
5.
could you have-
Oh, it's
Only
fun.
5.
Only.
And then, but they got so many cameos. Good Lord. I mean, John Huston as M, and that wig was so ridiculous. And then I was like, oh, I see now why.
Well, John Huston wasn't originally supposed to play M. I forget who they originally had lined up, but they dropped out at the last minute, and John Huston was like, well, I'm directing these scenes. I may as well play the part. So
I'll just put the wig on. And
yeah.
It was funny when the lion was on top of the car and they played the theme from Born Free. That was funny.
Do you know why they played the theme from Born 3?
I don't know what that is.
Do you know who wrote
Born free as the wind.
It's
Oh.
too young.
And it was a whole movie about lions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who
Oh,
wrote
that
you know who wrote that song? John
Yes,
Barry.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Who's John
So
Barry?
he's like, I'll pay myself money to
No.
use my own.
No.
Go on.
Who is John
He didn't
Barry?
write the score? He didn't write the
No,
score?
not for this. This was
Oh,
what's his face?
oh, sure. What's his
Marvin
face?
Look,
He wrote the James Bond theme.
theoretically. He scored the James Bond films up to this point and beyond this point as well. But so yes. So that's the one John Barry piece of music. But the music was by Burt Bacharach.
We're back. And I thought it was horrible.
He got an Oscar nomination for the song.
Yeah, and actually that Casino Royale theme I completely know because Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass was very big at our house.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, so who's John
Now-
Barry? Tell us more.
John, I just did. John,
He's a
he
scored
all the other Bond films.
Oh,
A composer.
Yeah.
And he wrote the theme, James Bond. Okay, this next thing was like, okay, my James Bond would not be reluctant to get in a bathtub with a naked girl.
Yeah, that was weird.
And Ursula Andress, they hired an actual Bond girl.
Yep.
How much did they give her?
all I heard was Melania Trump every time she opened her mouth.
Ah,
Oh my gosh.
And she's not actually dubbed in this movie like she was in Doctor No. That's her voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was a big hit at the box office, and Joel said nominated for an Oscar for the best song. And it is an excellent song, The Look of Love. I love that song,
Oh
Burt Bacharach.
God, yeah.
And then there's a montage of it halfway through, nothing to do with the plot. Just here, let's play the song. And the Gadget spoof with Peter Sellers was mildly amusing in places. They had some fun ideas there. And then we're halfway through the movie and we get a Buddha dance number. Why? I have no idea. And they introduce his daughter. And then Peter Sellers gets in the shower and I'm like, he is weirdly hairy. It's like on his shoulders and it was like,
Yes, I did. I saw that too. Yes. Yeah.
It was very
Weirdly
weird.
hairy. Yeah.
Somebody married to Anthony really shouldn't be talking about weirdly hairy.
Yeah, but his weirdly hair is white now, so I don't really see it. And Peter Sellers plays it pretty straight. Like he thinks he's really gonna get the job as James Bond. I'm like, okay. And then the beauty contest. And I see why it was a hit at the box office. You have all these naked girls and men are perverts. That's why. And I also learned one very important thing. Bagpipes are very versatile. They can be a phone and a machine gun. It's great.
They're also really hard to play.
Yes, of course.
I
And then
actually
the-
know a bagpipist.
I do as well, and we used a set in the last show I did, 39 Steps, and the actor tried to learn how to play them. He gave up like after an hour and a half. It's like, no,
dub me, please, dub me. And then Mata wants to meet the prime minister. I'm like, why is she so keen on meeting the prime minister? Was he like cute or something? And I looked him up. He was Harold Wilson at the time. He was no Tony Blair. He was like an old man. So I don't know why she was so excited to meet the prime minister. And at one point, David Niven says, is this some kind of joke? I'm like, no, not really. No, it's not. Okay, and I did not know there were words to the Casino Royale, the theme. I only ever heard the instrumental version. I'm like, those are terrible words. I could have written terrible word. Okay, so last week I gave the Aristocats 2 stars. This one has to get 1.5. It's almost everything I hate in a comedy. Almost everything I hate. Aim,
What
don't
that
you
you wait, what that you hate in a comedy is missing.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question.
Old lady saying fuck.
Oh God, yes.
Aim, are you with me on this?
I'm with you on this. Let me go back to my notes that I didn't even start writing till halfway through. The cast in this movie is amazing, which I'll come back to in another comment. The number of people who just had small cameos just blew me away, although I'm not sure how many of them were the big stars that they became at the time, like Jackie Bissett. I loved that she was credited as Jackie Bissett. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah, this was before she was a big thing.
I figured that with the Jackie. Speaking of being blown away, I loved Peter Sellers, and then I read up on how much he and was it Orson Welles absolutely hated each other.
Yep.
And how difficult Peter Sellers was, and he would just walk off the set and not tell anybody. He's a horrible person, but I loved him in this.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I've ever even seen a Peter Sellers movie except for the Pink Panther, which doesn't really count. And I also thought he was very good looking and just wonderful.
You haven't seen Dr. Strangelove?
I saw Dr. Strangelove, yes, I've got it in my college, so I remember hating it. It's definitely a movie I need to rewatch.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that every producer, writer, and director weren't absolutely tripping out on acid from concept until final cut. You just can't tell me. The composer, which I did not realize was Burt Bacharach, hopefully was sent to exile after this movie. It's actually the one continuing theme, which was very pretty music, and then all of a sudden it goes, and then go back to the pretty, oh my God, I fucking hated the music. But I didn't realize The Look of Love was written for this movie.
Yeah.
Loved it. The movie is listed as 211, and our movie was 211, but was a lot of shit cut. Like when Vespa was kidnapped outside the casino, Evelyn magically appeared in a racing car suit, jumped into the race car, and then was suddenly in a chair caught by Le Chiffre. Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you want me to explain that now or later?
Explain it now.
Okay.
How short is the
So
explanation?
much was cut
They
out.
it's
It's
not
not
that they
filmed.
it's not that it was not filmed. They
Right.
fired Peter Sellers eventually because he was
Right.
just such a nightmare to work with.
Wow.
And uh, Val Guest, who is listed in the credits as consultant or something like that, was actually the sixth director, if you want to be truthful. He had to cobble together the film from everything that had been shot with things that were missing, that had never been shot, that they didn't have, so there are huge gaps in those in the film that just like, all right,
Plot-wise.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was right. There was six
There were
directors.
6,
yeah,
yeah.
wow, yeah.
Directly following the above moment where the race car and then suddenly he's caught somehow, came a scene nobody sober could ever possibly have imagined. What in the actual fucking Woodstock drug fest am I watching? Please tell me I'm having a drug-fueled fantasy now, and that's not a UFO flying around this James Bond satire. The movie just gained half a star, maybe a quarter star, by having Woody Allen be Dr. Noah and in charge of Smush. Did not see that coming. I thought we were never going to see him again. Loved that. Who in
And
the
this is silly Woody Allen before he got serious.
Yeah, yeah. And I read that this is when he said, this is what directing's like. This is madness. I'm going to start directing.
Exactly.
And he became a great director. Holy shit. Who in the absolute fuck is the woman lying naked under the 2 metal straps? God help me with this fucking movie with the horrible black wig. Where did the black wig suddenly come from? And then I did a little research and I learned that was the detainer who
Yes.
we saw earlier 90 minutes ago, but she wasn't wearing this awful black wig. I have no idea how Jimmy Bond even kidnapped her. All of a sudden she was just kidnapped. I guess another scene they didn't film.
Yep.
Oh my God, this is actually turned into a science fiction movie. Oh, and there goes Frankenstein's monster because, drugs.
Well, 1 second. Do you know who played Frankenstein's monster?
Yeah, David Prowse.
Yeah, David Prowse.
Ah.
His first movie. So
That's great.
Fun.
Oh, okay. Now we have cowboys, Indians, and the Keystone Cops, and a chimpanzee. Well, at least Bill Holden came back. Frank, of course, you know why I love Bill Holden. I can't say Bill Holden. Actual LOL on the line. I've been framed. The gun shoots backwards. I just killed myself.
yeah.
And then I realized it was played by George Raft. Holy shit. And Frankenstein's monster is David Prowse. John Paul Belmondo is in this movie. Frank knows why I know who that is. And Jackie Bissett, Charles Boyer. I'm just amazed at the cameos. My final note was the various ways the closing credits flew in, like especially to the beat of the music, as well as the font, just adorable. Okay, so I'm done. So after all that,
Wait, before you're done, how long did it actually take you to watch?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It only took under 3 hours. It was like 2:45. I really didn't want to keep stopping. I just stopped to look at the plot, the summary, because somebody summarized this very detailed. Because I was like, what the hell just happened? Who is this person? So I'm going to go as high as 2 stars.
You're a maniac.
Well, the quarter of a star is because of Dr. Noah.
Yeah.
And the closing credits.
Annie King, I assume you have not seen this before.
No, I have
Oh,
not.
let me just say, speaking of that,
And
I
you
meant
will
to
never see it
say,
again.
I meant to say, this is a movie that I always wanted to see because I actually thought until 2 weeks ago it was a Woody Allen movie. I thought it was a great, funny Woody Allen satire. So I was like, I really need to see this movie.
No, that's Sleeper.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Annie.
Anything before
Oh,
Annie.
go ahead, Annie. I assume you never want to see it again as well.
No need to, because I didn't understand it the first time around. I won't understand it the second time. I started to take notes. I was like, heirloom wig. That was funny to me.
I have a note on that.
Yeah. And then what's with the stuttering that he does?
Yeah, explain that.
They thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and then it just went away.
It's like I don't have time to do the stuttering.
He regains his confidence. He didn't start stuttering until he retired. And then once he came out of retirement, he regained his confidence as the real James Bond. So,
yeah. And then I stopped because I just couldn't go on. So there were just so many parts where I'm like, what did I just miss? like Amy said, so I guess it's because they didn't film stuff. It felt like 6 different movies just kind of put into place. And
They
then,
were, well, no, Annie. They were smushed together.
yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah.
Nice.
And then when the spaceship came, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Drugs.
totally done. That I was lost.
I
And
mean, but I can accept a movie where you just throw every sense of reality out the window, but at least be funny.
yeah, that would, it was just all so very weird. The nun, and then she comes back, and I was just too many things going on all over the place. So, I'll give it a 2. Is that higher than Flash
No,
Gordon?
that's what Annie said.
Is that
Amy
higher than
said.
Flash Gordon?
I'll look at the
Is
Flash
that the
Gordon.
bar we're trying to set now?
I feel like we all gave Flash 1.75.
Then I have to go, yeah, probably 1.75 with this one also.
All right, so Mark, it's not the Daniel Craig version. I don't think you were expecting that.
No, but I'm gonna have to watch this now for sure. This version. I will say before I get to my notes, I'll say 2 things. I'll say number
Wait,
one,
was Casino Royale the first one he did?
yes, and it's already 20 years old, 2006.
Yep.
Wow.
Before you
Um,
continue, do you guys want to know our Flash Gordon review?
Sure,
Yes.
go ahead.
Frank was 2.5.
Ooh.
Wow.
Joel, of course, was 3.
Of course.
Annie was, I was 1.5, so I guess I like this better. Mark 2.5, Annie 2.5.
Oh, I could go with, yeah, then I can do 2.
You like Flash Gordon better? I don't remember Flash Gordon.
Yeah, Flash Gordon was better than this.
You should go watch it again, Amy.
Better
Yeah,
than
the soundtrack alone
the music.
for Flash that gets 4 stars.
One song, please.
No.
Flash.
Isn't- Yeah.
That's it.
All right, can I start?
Yes, please.
Please do.
Before I start to my notes, I'll say that unlike Amy, I was not looking forward to. I did not want to see this. I had no interest
Oh,
in it.
after our talk about it, I was like, oh fuck, this is homework. 2 weeks ago, I wanted to see.
Gotcha. And I will say, and I'm being honest here, Joel, I thought that you were you gave us warnings of how bad this was. So I went into it thinking this is going to be a lot funnier than I think. And and with all the cameos, I thought, all right, this is going to be really good. I never thought I'd wish I was watching Fantastic Planet. Put it that way.
But the problem with the cameos really were that they were not funny people.
No.
But
They were
you can
actors.
make straight actors be funny if the writing is there, and it just wasn't.
Well,
there.
admittedly, the Jean-Paul Belmondo bit was funny. He says shit in the movie, just in French. And when he translates it, it's like, ooch, It's
yeah. I was like, that means shit. What are you
Yeah.
saying?
That to me it was funny, but not funny, Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I wrote, I kind of want 20 lions in my yard now too. And a heirloom made me roll my eyes. Sorry, Annie. I did not appreciate that. And I couldn't understand half this what that Scottish family was saying. I couldn't use subtitles because I was watching it on Dropbox. If perfectly legally. I thought I knew who. Oh, here. I swear I wasn't drunk, but I really didn't understand what was happening for almost the entire movie. So I'm glad to hear everyone else say basically the same thing, and that partially it's because the scenes just simply weren't filmed. I thought I knew who David Niven was because the name sounds familiar, but after a search on IMDb, nothing. I don't know. Isn't he in anything? Like,
No, seriously, Joel. I'm with you. Is he
what was he in? He was in some random movies.
David Niven was not in random movies. David Niven was in a lot of movies. Guns of Navarone.
Yep, never saw it.
Pink Panther.
Yeah, but honestly, it was way before his
That's true.
time. So
Yes.
he would not know.
Yeah. Deborah Kerr, though, I did recognize the name. And as we saw,
Car. Yeah.
Car.
It's Car.
It's actually pronounced car.
wow.
She British.
Yeah, but I've always called her Deborah Kerr.
Nope.
Okay.
No, it's Car.
Well, I've learned a lot with this group.
Well, now you're mature and sophisticated.
Very clearly.
You say you learned a lot, but I think even not enough.
Yeah. I got a long road to go down. The line, I don't remember this, and I have no idea what part this was, but do you get many complaints from the neighbors? That was the one line in the entire movie that actually made me laugh out loud. I don't even remember what that was from. Do you get many complaints from neighbors? But on having a braless Ursula in the same scene didn't hurt. So if that helps.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I've seen this movie too many times to count at this point, and I don't remember. I know
If I
the
can
line,
find
but I
it.
don't remember where it comes.
Yeah. When Mata Bond was fighting all the soldiers after stealing the films, the music sounded like a derivative of the Benny Hill show. It was like a da na 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 na. Um, Joel. Oh, and this is you already answered. I said how would they would use the name James Bond if it was unauthorized. I was wrong. It was authorized. Um, and it
Uh,
is 1.75 from me. Pretty horrible, I wrote. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was disappointed. I thought there was going to be some magic to it, and it just didn't
There
get there for me.
is. Orson Welles levitates a woman over
Yeah, there was
the.
magic. It was definitely magic.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
did you
It's
find
true.
out where that came from?
according to AI, the context appears to be part of a discussion. You'll remember this now. Regarding 1960s interior design trends, specifically referencing a conversation hit scene that in that era became a relic of a bygone era. They were in the pit
Right.
in the
Oh,
house.
yeah, they
Why?
went down.
Yeah, and complaints.
Oh, do you get many complaints from the neighbors because it makes noise? I guess.
I
Or
guess,
because
yeah.
or your floor is part of,
Th-
in their ceiling, I bet.
yes, 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 yes. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, I remember that now. Thank you.
I'm glad we could clear that up.
Yeah.
No, this is not a line from the 2006 Daniel Craig movie.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Joel, I don't defend yourself. We don't care. You made us watch it. Okay, fine. So what do you actually think of this movie you've seen more than once?
Yes. Well, I've
This
seen it a
crazy
number of
reason.
times. I've watched this movie a number of times because it is a fascinating mess. Um, and
Yeah, and it's a very don't let this happen to you kind of
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
movie.
I was just going to say, Frank.
it very
Should it
much
be in
is.
like a film class? Like take it all apart.
I
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Yes, it is that type of movie where it falls into two categories. One would be how do you dissect this film to study it and make it a better film, and then you just Mystery Science Theater 3000 it with drunk friends because
Right.
Yes.
it is a horrible mess. It's not even, yes, it's attempting to poke fun at the Bond films, but there's only been four of them.
By that point,
there's
yes, by
only
that
so
point.
much you can do with that. You can put,
But of course, like you said, the spy genre had exploded, and so there was a lot of stuff they were spoofing, not just James Bond.
no, but even with all of that, they didn't take it as far as they could have. The scene at the end where George Raft shoots himself with the backwards gun. He's standing next to someone, and every time I see the movie, I was like, that's not David McCallum. It looks like David McCallum, but it's not David McCallum who played, Ilya
The
Kuryakin
Man
on
from
The Man from
Uncle.
Uncle. So
Yes.
it's like there are moments where it's like that could have been cool or funny,
Right.
or no, it's
Right.
not. The movie
Yeah.
it's a disjointed mess, and it looks like a disjointed mess. When the funniest scenes for me are actually spoofing German expressionism in East Berlin, there's a problem, and the fact that people came in to see this movie, and it was a success at the box office. It was the third highest grossing film of the year. They're coming in thinking we're going to get a James Bond spoof, and then we get like 30 minutes of bad Scottish accents, and then eventually we wind up in East Berlin in like a Fritz Lang movie. It's just all over the place. I love.
Weren't you waiting for one of those Scotsmen to say, "Get in my belly"?
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't think you get Austin Powers if this movie didn't exist, because I think he
Okay.
needed to have
Okay.
something to jump off of and go,
That's fair.
this
That's
is
fair.
terrible. How do we do a really good James Bond spoof?
Yeah.
That's fair.
No.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But there are.
But I think like you, Joel, Mike Myers' dad was the big Bond fan, and he, by osmosis, got those movies.
Oh, sure. There are things I do like about that. I love Orson Welles as the villain. Just
Love
because
him.
he's Orson Welles and he's great. And I love watching the scene in the casino because you start picking it apart and you realize there's only one shot of the two of them together.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely thought that.
They
I'm
hated
like,
each
they
other
filmed
so
on
much.
separate days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
They
just separate
definitely
days. It
filmed.
was like months apart. And there was one day where Peter Sellers just didn't show up, and they were like, "Well, we got to film something." All of a sudden, Orson Welles is doing a levitating trick. You know, it was like, okay, you know, they had to fill gaps and stuff. It's just it's a horror.
And could you write a note to is it MGM United Artists now? Who
It's
owns this
Amazon.
movie? Amazon
That
owns
was,
this movie. Ask him if Joe could have all the footage so he can make a better movie out of this movie.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Done.
They there is no all the footage at this point. So you gotta love a movie that opens with Peter Sellers and I forget the actor playing Mathis in what is essentially a Parisian urinal. You know, that's where they're standing. So when he, you know, say it shows him his credentials, oh, those are very impressive. You don't actually see anything. He's making a dick joke. It's like, all right, that's setting a really bad tone for this movie.
I totally saw that as a dick joke when
Yeah.
we didn't see what he was looking at.
Yeah,
These
I mean,
are-
they're standing in what is essentially a giant urinal. It's a pissoir, and that scene has no context until they come back to it later in the movie. You know, it's kind of like, why was this at the beginning? You know,
They came back to it.
yeah, they come back to it later with the car wash, the whole car wash scene with the agents that are, you know, dressed in leather and getting all wet and licking the car. That's the scene right after this, essentially. So. It's a hot mess. It's fun to see some of the cameos. You know, if you look closely, Jacqueline Bisset is actually also in the casino scene. She's standing behind Orson Welles.
Excuse me, she's Jackie Bisset.
Yeah, well, she had some interesting stories. She respected Peter Sellers as an actor and hated him as a human. So
yep.
Yeah.
He actually that scene where he has to fire the gun and blow the cork off the bottle, he actually shot her in the face with a blank.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in the trivia.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of, I think a behind the scenes movie about this movie would be better than the movie itself.
Totally agree. Get on that, Joel.
Yeah.
I'm torn between a 2 and a 2.5.
So
Oh my God.
2.25.
It is a terrible film, but
2.25.
I enjoy watching it because it is a terrible film.
It's a guilty pleasure.
I wouldn't even call it that.
No?
It's the pleasure comes from like ripping it apart every time I see it. So
Yeah, it's funny because as much as I hated it, I didn't hate it. There are definitely, if you know, you give me 10 movies, this would not be at the very, very bottom to be forced to watch again.
It's not. It's number 4,078. It's higher than the movie we watched last week.
Yeah.
But I think the context of this film of the time will be interesting to see how it affects going forward with the Bond films themselves.
Okay. All right, Casino Royale is on Canopy, which is a streaming service that may be available from your local library if you want to pick it apart as we did. Next week, Annie picked a childhood classic, Escape to Witch Mountain, 1975. It's on Disney Plus. I think I may have seen it. I don't know.
Definitely
find
saw as a kid.
You saw it? Yeah.
As a kid, sure.
In 75?
Maybe.
Oh. What was that?
Hmm.
Oy.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah, he's doing something. He's like, oh, you're not a cat.
Hmm.
He got a hairball, I think.
Hmm.
Okay. All right, that's it. I'm Frank F. Go watch a movie. Okay.
And
But
also,
not this one.
but not this.
But not this one.
Not